Thursday. It's Catalyst Coaching. I'm Sherri Johnson. Welcome back. As you're getting in, please try to put your video on. I don't really care. I'm going to put a slide deck on in a minute. I just want you engaged with what I'm saying. I want you taking notes. I want the left side of your notes to be aha moments. The right side, I would love your right. Not if you're driving, you don't have to do it. If you're in the car, that's fine. Hi. If you are operating a vehicle or something like that, I get it. I do really believe that if on the right side you put down some what I call action items, please. Putting down the action items is going. The action item side is the most important side of today. What I'm going to teach you, what I'm going to share with you is absolutely some of the best material in scripts that you'll ever hear. And it will get you. I started this too early. I always know agents come on late. Listen, these strategies are going to close expired listings for you. I always say they're the most qualified, absolutely the most qualified lead that exists. I'll explain in a minute. Go into the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from, where you're calling from, what company, what area, city that you're in, so that I can say hi. Most of you, I think I know, I recognize your names. You've been on here before. Welcome back. I'm Sherri Johnson. We're recording this. You get the recording, of course, when you attend these. And also you always get a strategy call with me or my team. We love doing the 20-minute strategy call. We'll give you the information on how you can book that here in a minute. It's a little bit after 1. Again, roll into the chat. Let us know if you're calling in and where you're coming in from. I believe the chat is enabled and ready to go. If you have questions, on expireds, if you have done expireds already, if you have done them in the past and it didn't work, that's okay, right? You can, with my system, with my strategy, we had a little typo in our email. I don't know if anyone noticed, but the strategy I'm going to give you, the one that I've literally perfected, the one I used as an agent, as a top producing agent selling 50 to 75 houses a year as a solo agent, this strategy will convert 85% of the time. That's not hyperbole, that's actual, meaning 8 to 9 appointments if you call expireds, okay? You call 10 of them, you're going to have 8 to 9 appointments. Like, that is what happens when you use Sherri Johnson coaching strategies. It just does. So get used to it and get on board and start putting it into action. That's the only way that this will actually materialize in anything, is if you throw it into high gear and take 10x massive action. High energy, high results. Low energy, low results, or I say low energy, no results. That's really what ends up happening, okay? So I'm going to put us on screen. I'm going to throw up my slides here in a second. Again, if you have questions or you're like, why expireds? You think to yourself, there aren't any. That's not true. That's actually false. That's like a it doesn't exist thing, okay? So please know that every time you say something about, where am I going here? Every time you say something about when you think, let me go back here. When you think to yourself, this is a dumb idea, someone told you that who doesn't sell any houses probably, okay? And when I hear agents say that doesn't work, and I say, well, when's the last time you actually called an expired listing? I mean, for a few years, we didn't have many. They're back. They are back. And over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share with you this strategy. It will produce wild results, but you have to put it into practice. So please, on the right-hand side, action items that you're going to implement. On the left-hand side, aha moments. And I take notes, whatever, but take action. Nothing worse than sitting through something great and saying and doing nothing, right? And like walking away and then getting busy and not taking massive action. So you will generate listings. You will probably sell 2 houses out of each of these because you will sell the replacement home to the seller, right? So if you're back and you're in coaching with us and I haven't seen you in a while, welcome. Good to see your names, all of you coaching people. And then if you are not in coaching and you haven't been here, welcome. I'm excited to have you. I'm excited to invite you every Thursday to this special edition of Catalyst Coaching, where I'm going to do my best to give you true, literally real strategies that produce real results. That's the difference. I actually did these things. I taught it to thousands of agents at my corporate job as a top regional executive for a big company with over 800 agents and $2 billion in sales, right? We went from 500 million to 2 billion in 4 years with my managers, my strategies, everything I'm using to coach all of you. And I knew I was going to teach this to agents across the country and world at some point, right? And so I did this proven method. And for the last 8 years, I can tell you just in the last 3 to 8 weeks, the agents in my coaching, whether they're on a team and I coach the team, whether they're at a company and I coach the whole company, whether they're a solo agent in our private one-to-one coaching, we are getting expired listings in every price point. So the first item I want you to put down is this. I want you to write down, pull the expireds, and don't just pull the last week. Go back 2 years, please. Go back 2 years. And when you go back 2 years, don't limit the price. I want to go, whatever, 3 million. 500. If your average sale price is 450, go 250 plus all the way to the top. I don't care if there's $1.5 million listing in there. That is yours. That's going in your list. Okay. I have brand new agents pulling $1 million expireds, getting the appointment and listing the house and selling it. Okay. So please do not self-limit yourself. That is what we do. We're not doing that anymore. No more self-limiting on expireds. I know for a fact, I have one of our top coaches here had a coaching call with a client, and that client called me. I'll never forget this. And he said, I want to tell you I love your coach. And I said, so do I. It's Jill. And I said, so do I. She's fabulous. She's been with me 8 years. And he said, I was kicking and screaming. She wanted me to call expired listings, Sherri, and I thought she was crazy. And they were calling to find a buyer a house. So there was not a lot of inventory, which right now some pockets exist where there's less inventory. We don't say there's no inventory. We say there's less inventory, or the inventory that's out is not desirable to your buyer. Okay, well, you can go find a listing like I teach you, or you can go to the expireds and find listings under the expired. So Jill taught him that strategy that we have in our academy and that I have in my coaching. And here's what happened. Like he told me I was kicking and screaming. I didn't want to do it. I thought she was crazy. I did it anyway. And he said, kicking and screaming. And he said, I pulled a listing from, it was 18 months off the market, went and saw it, showed it to his buyer, and 3 days later had a $1.5 million farm under contract in Virginia. Okay. Now, what's really exciting is he told me the quote. Here's what he said to me. Both parties think that I hung the moon. They've already given me business and we haven't closed yet. They've already given me referral business and we haven't even closed the transaction yet. He said, I owe you big time. I said, you don't owe me anything. He said, no, this is unbelievable. And so I'm going to keep doing that. I said, well, the lesson here is, right, we think that something is bad because it didn't work, or we did it once and it was weird. And that was 12 years ago, or it was, someone in your office said, don't do that. Don't do open houses. Don't do expireds. That's crazy. No, actually, it's the best free lead that exists. Okay. Scan this QR code if you don't have my contact information, so you can text me or call me or book an appointment with me. We do offer on the Catalyst calls this 20-minute opportunity for you to schedule a free coaching call for 20 minutes to talk about the expireds campaign if you want, to talk about your gold mine pipeline, maybe talk about coaching if you're interested. maybe talk about partnering with me and getting the coaching for free. If that's interesting to you, find out how, schedule and book that call with us. We are excited. We'll totally tell you whatever we can to help you grow your business. It's really a free coaching call. Some people sign up for coaching, some people don't. I'll be honest with you. If I do a lot of calls and we set up another call in a month, right? Because I care and I want to help you. So scan that. It'll take you right to the calendar and grab your spot. Now, I want to tell you, we have a brand new podcast coming out. I think what is today? It's probably coming out in the next week or two. And it's called The Sherri Johnson Show, which is a funny name. But anyway, that's coming out. Is a brand new podcast, new edition. This one, the You Rock podcast, is not really retired, but I will tell you that this has about 320 some episodes, great content. This will help you. It will give you scripts. It will give you motivation. It will give you mindset. There are interviews on there that are amazing. There are social media experts, all kinds of great stuff. People have told me they've sold 5 houses from watching or listening to my podcast. So I recommend it. This one happens to be How to Make 50K at Your Next Open House. It's one of my signature courses. Download this, listen to it. Some people tell me like they listened. One agent in Bethesda, Maryland just sold $1.7 million sale. She said she used a script. She used a script from my podcast to close that deal, to get it and then to negotiate it. Now that's pretty cool. I'll take that, right? She is in coaching, by the way. She just joined. So go listen to this. Take the time. We were ranked number 32 in Apple's podcast. Is pretty neat. I'm pretty proud of that. All right. So why are listings the name of the game? Well, one listing can change your life. Write that down, please. One listing can change your life. On the right side of your page, I want you to write down, I want blank listings. I'm going to just give you an example. I want 10 listings over 850. I'm going to be so hyper specific on a goal that I want you to name the price point that you want a certain number of listings in. Let's be that intentional. Okay. Now, when you go look for expireds, you're going to take that list of 10 into consideration. You're going to list more than 10. Clearly, you're going to list more than 10 houses. But what if 10 of them could be over 850? It's a pretty good day. It's almost $10 million, isn't it? Or let's say they're all at $1 million. It's $10 million, 10 listings. And by the way, $10 million is $300,000 in GCI at 3%. Okay. So that's where we're going with this, right? Be so specific that you are intentional about how many listings you want over a certain price point. I call that give yourself a raise. Okay. So listings versus buyers, you list, you dominate. The power of one listing in that you should be able to convert 3 to 5 more listings off of every single sale. Most of you miss that opportunity completely. Most agents go deal to deal, right? I mean, think about this, like boom, boom, we go to the next deal, put the sign up, move on. There is so much business sitting in that neighborhood. Number one, other ways to market yourself to generate 3 to 5 more listings. You're just missing out on that. But we want listings. So all these expired listings create more opportunities, is my point, to sell more spin-off business from them. And honestly, that's the whole, literally the entire basis of my career. I had 5 sales my first month, very first month in the business. They were not from my sphere. One of them was from my sphere, and 4 of them were from one listing I had. One listing, I sold it myself. Those people had a house to sell, and I picked up another buyer and sold him a house in the same month. 4 houses, 4 sales, 1 house. And that's where I decided this is how you do real estate. You leverage every single sale. Like, write that down, please. So why do I want you to get expireds? Because you get an expired in one neighborhood, change your life. You get an expired at $1 million, change your life. One deal, One house, one listing will change your life, but you have to decide you're going to be successful at doing it. I hope I can inspire you to do that today. Okay. The beauty of being number 2 on an expired listing is that usually, right, assuming they're ready to list and they want to continue selling, not all of them do, but let's just say that you are number 2, right? And if you're number 2, they will listen to you a little bit better. I remember I had an expired listing, an offer came in, and he was like, I sent it to him, and he was like, all right, I'm signing it. Where do I sign it? I said, hold up. I said, we're going to make a counter offer. And he said, oh, no, I don't want to mess around. I just want to sign it. Been on the market too long. I'm signing this thing. I said, I can get you another 10 grand. He's like, I believe you, but I just want to sign it. Okay. Did not want to mess around. Being number 2, they will listen potentially to some redecorating. So let's look at some of these reasons. Now, I say this all the time. Yeah, how many of you right now have a listing appointment on the calendar in the books, secured right now? In the books, right? If you have one, fabulous, right? If you don't, I need you to think like this, right? I'm going to ask this question. How many of you have a listing appointment in the next 7 to 10 days and you just don't know the address yet? Right? Like I do. And you have to say to yourself, I'm going to win. I already see myself winning. Okay. I'm already sold myself. That's enthusiasm. You have to say, I'm going to list or sell a house this week. I just don't know the address. That's part of your problem, is we just don't have a really good strategy. You don't think strategically. You're kind of winging it. You're going from thing to thing, just kind of winging it, like what's coming at you, instead of being on offense and actually running the success. Like you can create the success. That's why this works. Okay. I believe we sell ourselves and then we sell a house. Why is that? You bring massive value to the table. When you can communicate your value like no one else through the script, and you get the appointment on a call, first call you make, 85% of the time you'll get a yes to an appointment, but you have to deliver it the way I'm going to share it with you. Okay. But you sell yourself first, and the value you bring to why I can get your home sold now. I see that your home has been off the market for 12 months. Like, go back 24 months. Those are the opportunities. Pretty much anything past 2 months is going to be an easier call. I know that sounds very counterintuitive. You would think the people who just had their house on the market would want to relist with you. Yes, I want you to call them too. But the real fun is when you go back. And we have markets where there are 150 expireds over 500,000. Like, hello. Yes. In your market, cast a wider, bigger net, please. When you bring the value, you get hired. If you don't add value, you don't get hired. You're kind of you're just seeing if someone will tell you they want to sell their house with you. You bring massive value, people will hire you, and they will pay more. Look at everything. Hotel, restaurant. People pay more for more value. That's why it's called value, right? And when I pay something that's less, I think it's valuable too. My Prime account at Amazon, I would pay more because of the convenience. So you have to look at your value proposition and what are you actually saying to people. All right, so the expired listing is the best free listing available. It's in the MLS. It's free. It's the most qualified lead. Why do I call it the most qualified lead? Well, we don't have to wonder if they want to sell. They had a sign in their yard. You could call 10 people in your list of sphere, your sphere of influence list, and you'd have to say, wow, I don't know. I got a 50-50 chance whether they want to sell or not, right? I could call 10. One of them says yes. Okay. I call 10 expireds. I'm getting 8 to 9 appointments guaranteed. Doesn't mean they're going to list with you. It means you'll get the appointment. It's the best free listing lead available. It's in your MLS, and they're free leads, right? You have to pay for this. You do not have to pay for the cost of a lead. The most qualified lead, in so much as that we know they want to sell. They had to sign up. They were ready mentally and they actually also hired a professional, right? So just different than a for sale by owner who doesn't maybe believe in a professional to have to do the job. The expired listing did. They already hired a real estate company before. You're coming in, and the beauty of being number two is that you have a better marketing plan. You have a formula for why their house didn't sell. It's not always just price, right? I call it a formula, and people love it. People love the formula language. Okay. I'm going to give you a script talk on exactly what to say when you call them. Okay. And I just want to get ahead of my slide. So, they're ready to listen, make improvements on the price, maybe make improvements on the house, make some light redecorating that brings a better set of photographs, right? A better video, a better, neutral color online, so that we don't have the cost perception problem where people look at the pictures, right? I have to say to the sellers, here's the issue, right? We have these things, you don't want to put money into it, I get it. But when people look online, they're looking at price, they're looking at square footage, and they're looking at your photos. And so when we have a house that's under relocation, you're not selling under relocation situation, but when a relocation company moves somebody and they take that house and they go to sell it, they immediately change it to relocation beige, right? Or gray, something neutral, something that less objections. So sometimes people that are expireds will actually say, okay, I'll do those things. And you can say, let's just at least get some quotes. When people look at it online, the perceived cost is always higher than what it actually is. What do I mean by that? Well, they look at it and they say, this is going to cost 25 grand, and it's 5 grand. So it's 5 times what they think it is. That's because it's human nature. I'm going to look at the house and say the perceived cost, looks worse than it is. Maybe it is 25 grand, right? But most of the time, some of these redecorating issues can be handled at the time of the listing. So these are the reasons why. And, I'm going to go through this with you. Like the exact quote, the exact talk track is this, and I'll do it right now. And what it really is that when you call somebody and they have had their house off the market, and I want you to realize something right now. They're going to tell you, we decided to take it off the market, and they actually have a Debbie Downer voice, okay? So the very first thing I teach in our video series on this and in our academy, and I say, when you call, and I don't want you to text these people, I don't want you to send a letter. I mean, I guess you could send it takes longer. Hopefully they get it. Hopefully they open it. Hopefully they call you. I'd rather call somebody, right, and get a fast no and move on to the next potential lead. But you're not going to get a no. What's going to happen is they're going to say, this is how the script goes. Yeah. Assume it's, Cindy who answers the phone. Assume it's Lisa. Assume it's Mike. I mean, I don't like to say is so-and-so home, because then they say, who's calling, right? And they hang up. So if you say, hi, is this Lisa? Yes. Hi, Lisa. It's Sherri Johnson calling from XYZ company. I saw your home had been on the market about 12 months ago. I was calling to see if you were still interested in selling. And she's going to say, well, we decided to take it off the market, right? And that's your first objection that you're getting from a seller who disappointingly said it didn't sell, right? And the first thing I want you to do is say, wow, I'm sure it was very disappointing. I understand. And I'm sure it was very disappointing that it didn't sell 12 months ago. And then here is the value that you're going to bring, right? I'm sure you were disappointed that it didn't sell 12 months ago. However, I specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time. And I can get it done for you. I can actually find you another home as well. In fact, where were you moving? Out of state or staying locally? Now, about 75% to 80% of people stay local. So you could say, were you going out of state or were you staying local? Well, I wanted to live in the preserve and there's nothing there. And so we just kind of gave up. Right? Oh, we hear this all the time, right? Your answer to that, if you're in coaching with me, you should already know this, but your answer to that should be, that's great. The preserve. Yes, I know it looks like there's never anything for sale in there. However, I have a database of 15,000 people and I have a creative program and campaign. Well, I will actually go out and find you a house that is not yet listed. I can get you in the neighborhood you want to live in. That's the easy part. And selling your home. So let me go back to your home. So I have a formula for why your home didn't sell. And they're going to say, oh, is it price? No, actually, it's a combination of a lot of things. Number one, the formula is going to be based on how many showings you had, how many offers you received. All of these things we can talk about after you give me a tour, obviously, and show me the feedback. So I'm going to bring new market data. Your house has been off the market for 12 months. So obviously the value has increased or decreased. I'm pretty sure in your market, I know your neighborhood, that I'm pretty sure that we can look at some new pricing and I think you're going to be happy. What I would suggest, right, is that you look at the new market data. You look at my proven creative marketing program. It gets the job done. We're going to go through the formula, which includes a pricing strategy. It includes all the feedback, the staging strategy, the lack of one, the marketing and exposure or lack of. Yes, price is part of that. It's not the only reason, though. We're going to go through the entire formula. We're going to look at new market data. And bottom line, I want you to have all the information that you need so that you can make a decision that's in your best financial interest for you and your family. And if that means you want to move, great. If you need time, great. I'm not coming to list your house. I mean, yes, I am, right? I'm just not today. I'd like to come over, get a tour, go through the formula, explain what happened, talk to you about the feedback, talk to you about the pricing strategy you had, talk about the value in today's market. And then after you have all of that information, you can make a decision that's in your best financial interest. And by the way, I'm not coming to list your house. That's absolutely not what I'm doing. Right? I say that on purpose. I want people to be disarmed by the fact that I don't think I'm coming to list it. You might decide you want to list it. Great. You might decide you need some time. That's fine too. You might list in 6 months. I just want to have a conversation with you so that you can make a decision that's in your best financial interest. Let's face it. You had a sign in your yard. You were ready to move mentally. I'd like to make that happen for you. That's what I do. Right? And at the very least, and this is one of my best all-time lines ever, at the very least, don't make a decision about selling your home based on the last conversation you had with your former agent. Right? I mean, that one sticks. And I don't say they didn't sell it. I don't have to. Usually the seller says, Lisa will say, yeah, they didn't sell it. And I say, well, not only they didn't sell it, you haven't talked to them in 12 months. Right? So like that conversation is like history. It's 12 months ago. My office is selling houses. We're having a record month. My team is having a record. I'm personally having a record year. I can get this done for you if that's what you end up wanting to do. I don't know that you know that in this one call I'm making, but here's what I do know. I'd love to come over, get a tour, quick meeting. You can actually find out all of the reasons why, in my professional opinion and expertise, the house didn't sell. We can look at a new pricing strategy. I can even take down all of the houses and neighborhoods and streets that you want to live in and where you want to go next. We can have that conversation and basically coming over to just have a strategy call with you about selling your home. Now, I don't expect you to list it, but I also feel like, look, if I can get the job done for you, what you're doing here, everybody, is you're resurrecting these people. You're bringing it back to life. You're getting them excited again about the notion that you have a solution that will help them with their problem. You have a solution on everything, which is what we do. We provide solutions to help people buy or sell. In this case, you can create so much value that you're going to literally get this appointment, okay? I can save you time and money. We can talk about the repairs or late remodeling. I do that for every client that I list. It is in your best financial interest to have a conversation with me and get the data so that you can make your decision. And you may not even make it until you have all this information and have a conversation with me and then think about it. Again, I'm not coming to list your house. As soon as they say, okay, or, oh, okay, you say, great. What's better for you Thursday at 5 or Saturday at 10? Which, if you know me, you've been in coaching, you know that's one of my signature phrases. And the reason is that you're giving people an option. The 2-option tie-down approach to get an appointment. Like, you can't wait for people to ask you for an appointment. Those people are great. Like, they show up and they're like, hey, Mark, I'm ready to list my house. Can you come over? Grab your stuff, you go. But that's not happening enough to have you make 300, 400, 500 grand a year, right? It's not happening enough sometimes to make 250. So you have to be the one that initiates what's better for you Thursday at 5 or Saturday at 10. Now, that is strategic in and of itself. It's a weekday evening, a weekend morning. That's why I do it. One of these combinations should work. Okay, that's how that works. Okay, worried about lack of inventory. You think there's nothing for sale? You mentioned that earlier. I will find your next home for you. That's what I do. I have a proven and creative marketing plan and campaign where I will actually go out and find you a home that is not yet listed. That's the easy part. Now, if you can change your mindset to say what I just said, trust me, it is a game changer with every buyer. And again, with these expireds who think, our house didn't sell. Our house sucks, basically. I've had people tell me that. You're going to change their mindset in this literally nanosecond. I had a client, I coach a team, and they're doing phenomenally, by the way. They're like they're up like 49%. They attribute it to coaching. I wonder why, goldmine pipeline. But here's what I tell you. One of the agents, she called 15 expireds. Okay. She has 2 appointments, one for 350, one for 950. Okay. She reached out of those 15 calls. She actually spoke to 7 people. She got 2 appointments. I said, what happened to the other 5 people? She said, well, they said they didn't want to sell their house. And I said, did you say, okay, thank you for taking my call. Goodbye. And she said, yes, I did. And I said, her name's Laura. I said, Laura, that was the first objection. I told you they were going to say, we decided not to sell. I want you all to expect that they're going to say, yeah, we decided to take it off the market. Because that's what they're going to say. I can read it to you like it's going to happen exactly the way I just laid out. Okay. Now, she actually said, is it too late? Can I call them again? I said, absolutely. I'm going to tell you to call them. Call the other 7 people and say, I was thinking, I have a solution-based formula for why your home didn't sell, and I have a creative marketing plan. So we talked last week, and you said you had taken off the market. What if I brought you new information? What if I brought you new pricing? What if I gave you the formula for why your house didn't sell? Would you be interested in looking at all of that and then making a decision about not selling? Okay. This strategy works. I spoke for homes.com in Chicago. I think it was my very first event I think it was 2018. And this guy in the front row called me on a Thursday, and the event was on Tuesday. And he said, Sherri, do you remember me? I said, yes, I totally do. His name's Torino. He said, I sat in the front row. I go, yep, I know who you are. He goes, I need to hire you. I said, why? He said, I just hung up the phone with securing my third listing appointment. This stuff works. And I said, who are you calling? And he said, I'm calling expireds. And I was like, really? I go, go on, tell me some more. He goes, well, I started asking better questions and adding more value, like you said to do. I told them the script. I said, I have a formula. I specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time, and that I could get the job done for them. That maybe they should at least look at the formula of why the house didn't sell. Look at my numbers. Look at new market data and my creative marketing plan that had social media, had video, etc., and that they shouldn't just base it on the last conversation they had, right? And he said, I did what you said. I said enthusiastically I could get their house sold for them and I could find them another house. He said, I 3 for 3. My first 3 calls, I have 3 appointments. I said, how many times did you call these people? He said, 1 time. 2 of them were over 500. I think the first one was like 300 to 400. What could you do with this script, everybody? What could you do with it? Because you're going to win. I teach top agents who are doing 40 million. You would think they don't need any leads, right? I teach those agents, this is like a game. I don't want to call it a game. It's real. But think about it. Add 4 more deals to your sales and listings every single month. Why do I say 4? Well, if you list 2 expireds and they buy a replacement home from you, it's 4 transactions. It's a gold mine right here in and of itself. In fact, all my clients who are prospecting expireds and in some markets for sale by owners, I encourage you to make a list of them and add it up just like you would on my Gold Mine Pipeline sheet, on your Gold Mine Pipeline sheet, right? I want you to put all the names down, the value. Maybe you haven't gotten the appointment yet. Put it all on the sheet, add it up. Keep your other list of your, all your clients and people and that Gold Mine Pipeline you're working on right now, but then take out another form, take out another spreadsheet and put it on there, okay? Put it on there and then add it up because this list is a gold mine. I mean, just for an example, okay? If you had a $500,000 average sale price and you had, 40 potential listings, I mean, I'm getting 20 million, right? It's $20 million in sales times 3% is $600,000 in potential business. Let's say you got 80% of it. And by the way, that's just single-sided sides, right? That's just the list side only. That's $480,000 GCI. Half of those people are going to what? Buy a house from you. It's probably more than half. 70% more transactions. So that means 70 of 40 units times 70%, another 28 units times 500,000, right? It's another 14 million times 30%. It's 4.2. I'm sorry. 14 million, not times 30%, times 3%. 14 million times 3% is 420. So, and again, those are clients that are going to double side. You will change your life if you go into the expireds market. This is literally the quickest yes you can get. But you have to follow my strategy. You have to follow the script I just gave you, right? I understand your house didn't sell. Get over that first objection they're going to give you. And when you wow them with, I specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time, I can do the same for you, right? Before you throw the baby out of the bathwater and just give up, tell me, where were you thinking about living? Where did you want to move to? And they're going to say, well, we wanted to be in whatever. We wanted to be in Chagrin Highlands. There's never anything for sale in there. And you're like, oh, it looks like that. However, I have a creative marketing campaign. Well, I will actually go out and get you a house in that neighborhood. That's easy, right? I can do that for you. And they're like, really? And you're like, yes. Right? The whole strategy works. I don't know which script part I like better, but when you say I have a formula for why your home didn't sell, I said that once on a Saturday morning. It's stuck. Almost 30 years ago, 29 years ago. And I was like the expireds queen. Like I was expired for sale by owners and open houses. And I loved it. It was like a challenge and a game all wrapped in one. But here's what I'm going to tell you. People love it. You say, I have a formula for why your home didn't sell. And I specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time, especially in this price point. And done $1 million expired before. Be sure the right-hand side of your document says, pull 10 expireds over a certain price point, please. Like run the entire expireds. Don't settle. Don't say, oh, that's 3 million. Put it on the list. I have brand new agents, door knocking expireds over $1 million. They're getting the appointment. They're getting the listing. They're closing the deal. They're actually getting paid on it, right? So when you instill enthusiasm and excitement and resuscitate these people to life, I'm talking about the ones that have been off the market 3 months to 24 months. Here's what's going to happen. And this is such a great feeling. They come to the closing table. They sit down at the table. They're hugging you. They're crying. I've had people actually say, like, we are actually moving into our dream home because you called us. Like 100% because you called us. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's what I do, you know? And they're like, no, seriously, like we would not even be sitting here. We gave up on selling our house. It didn't sell. We never thought we'd find a house in our dream neighborhood. And you made both of those things happen. That is what we do. And I just say, yeah, that's my job. That's what I do. And I know you'll get the same results. I know it. I know it. You have to follow my script though. Exactly. I want you to rewatch this video so you hear that script talk and get it programmed in your brain, because the way you say it, the way you hesitate, the way you say, I understand, I'm sure it was disappointing that your home didn't sell. I get it. However, I specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time. I can get it done for you. Now, I'm not coming to list your house. I just want to give you new market data, show you a better, more creative and proven marketing plan. We're going to talk about why it didn't sell. It works, guys. It really does. But you have to follow it like to the T. If someone says, well, we decided to take the house off the market, and you hang up and you say, okay, thank you, like Laura did, you're missing the whole point. They're going to say, we took it off the market. Your job is to get them excited again. Now, I love the expireds because I believe that there are 2 deals most of the time. You're going to get a double-ended deal. You're going to list their house and sell them a new house. And at the very least, if they're moving out of state, you make a relo, you know, a referral, out of state referral to someone at your company or someone you need through us, whatever. Okay. But your job is to get them excited about meeting with you. And when you do that, when you get them excited about meeting with you, now you can go to the house and remember the script. What's better for you, Thursday at 5 or Saturday at 10? Because I'm coming, right? It's not, it's effective and it's not obnoxious. Like, you can be assertive and effective and not be obnoxious. I've been doing it for 30 years, right? I'm never aggressive towards a human being, but if you don't ask for it, it's not going to happen, right? Value added persuasive scripts that literally help take people through the process. And that's what we're doing. 70, you look at this, and 93% of communication is made up of body language and tone of voice and the cadence of which you speak. Are you enthusiastic? Are you making eye contact in person? What is your body language? What are you watching and reading their body language for cues? I promise you, right? If you look at, again, 93% is made up of the tone and enthusiasm, or are you talking like Debbie Downer, right? Well, there's nothing on the market. Please stop saying that. Like, the thing we're passionate about selling, we have to be so excited, like we're on fire about it, and that we can get the job done. I've had people say, I told somebody I could find them a house and that was the easy part. And they literally call me and say, I just said that and now I don't know what to do. So we'll go to the micro farming strategy and we'll show you how to do it, right? We have a whole plan for how to do that. People in coaching here make $100,000 in 2 months from using the micro farming strategy to go out and find houses for buyers who, by the way, would put their house on the market. So with the expireds, please don't just go back 3 days. Those people are great too. We get really great success with the people who've been off the market for a while. I know that saying it's in your best financial interest is like one of my favorite things to say. It pauses people. It gives them a moment, whether you're negotiating, whether you're going on an appointment to market someone's home, whether you are talking to an expired. It is in your best financial interest to have a meeting with me before you decide not to sell. Like, I get it. It's been off a while, but that's actually an advantage to you, right? Right now we have minimum listings in a shortage-ish in your market. I can't tell you, that means you're going to have multiple offers, but let's have a conversation. I'll come over. What's better for you this day or this day? And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about where you want to live, right? It's really an opportunity, and it's going to make it can literally change your life. One house in a neighborhood. I had an agent, she got an expired listing in a golf course community, over $1 million, change your life. We microfarmed that entire neighborhood, 3 to 5 more sales off of every house. This one expired. I have a guy in Houston. Oh my gosh, took him forever to launch an expireds campaign because he just wouldn't do it. Now he's a huge fan. He literally has 7 leads from an expired listing from doing open houses at this expired listing. 7 leads. That's 14 transactions. I believe they're all staying local. That's 14 transactions, everybody. And he said 4 of them are really good. I said, well, the other 3 are worth leaving on the goldmine pipeline. It's 14 transactions from one expired lead that he converted into an appointment and then has a yard sign, right? Now, what could you do? That is the question, okay? You have to ask for the appointment in the script. You have to say, great, look, I'm not coming to list your house on Saturday. That's not the purpose of me coming. The purpose is to go over the formula, talk about a strategy. The purpose of the meeting is to give you new market data and to go over the formula for why your house didn't sell. And I think you're going to be really enlightened, and your house is great. And I need to see the inside. I need to have a conversation with you. And then we're going to talk about where you want to move. Right? And all of this is going to add so much value that people are like, you're amazing. Where did you come from? That's like my favorite, and I just say, Solon, Ohio, that's where I came from. So think about it. Do you want to sit at the closing table and have someone literally start referring you business before they've even transferred title? Because they really do think that you hung the moon because you did the impossible. And actually you called them. That's my favorite part. I mean, I think first-time buyers are cute and they're fun and, they're cute, and it takes a lot of a lot of offers to close them sometimes, and they're fabulously grateful, and it's a great feeling to have someone buy their first home, and especially be the person to make that happen. I'm going to tell you right now, like expireds, they're going to cry. They're going to look at you and say, you called me out of nowhere, and now we're moving into our dream neighborhood, and you got our house sold. That to me is like, it's like the most fabulous fulfillment of doing this job. I want you to write this down on the right-hand side. Focus on listing appointments. This is my last pro tip for you. Okay. Focus on listing appointments and setting a goal for how many listing conversations you can have or how many appointments you can make. Now, I'm not talking about the ultimate listing appointment where someone signs and hires you. That would be the ultimate listing appointment. And every appointment leads to that ultimate listing appointment. Your problem right now is you don't maybe have any appointments, and you may not have any leads for listings. So we got to fill the pipeline with leads. We can do that with you. We can help you. We have over 100 video strategies, most of which are lead generation tools. But think about it. Your job is to book yourself appointments every week. That's my job, right? Like, we're all appointment setters. If you have no appointments, you're not going to sell anything. So if you focus on setting X number of listing appointments, that could be the pre-appointment to go see the house for the first time. Some of these are not going to be expired. That's okay. Go through your goldmine pipeline, go through your phone, go through all of the systems. If you're in coaching, like, go watch the goldmine pipeline again, talk to your coach about, like, how do you fill it? There's so many unengaged leads sitting in your pipeline, sitting in your CRM. I call the CRM your continuous referral machine. Fill your calendar with appointments, some of which are going to be these expireds. When you pull this list, like, please don't just search your primary market area. Put 4 or 5 additional communities in there. Don't have a cap on the price. Maybe you set, the low end at a certain price, but even that might have to be bumped down just a little bit. Okay. The goal should be to find 25 to 40 expireds. I have a team that had 100 expireds just in a year. in the last 12 months, 100 expireds. Like, come on, that's awesome, right? That's amazing. If you focus on expireds and how many expired listings you can get a month, but most importantly, the appointment setting first, right? Everything else will take care of itself. Agents say, what's the one thing I should focus on? And I say, well, you need a pipeline. It's usually my first answer. The second thing I say is if you book yourself listing appointments every week, you go on 4 listing appointments, you see a house. That's 16 listing appointments a month. That's how you list 8 houses a month, right? 10x activities create 10x results. So you can't just say, I'm sure I'm going to go on 1 appointment a week. Like I had this guy that we coach, he just started real estate. And I said, what are your goals? And we're talking and he said, I want to sell, like he said, there's 4 weeks in a month. And I said, I love how you're talking. He said, I should sell some, some more than 2 houses a month, right? And I said, yes. Like I had a moment of clarity. I did 27 sales my first year and I wanted to double that. I saw an ad with an agent who said, I sell a house a week. She had her arms crossed like we all do, and her name was Margie DeMaestri, and she was icon in when it was brand new, and she had this ad that said, I sell a house a week. And I was like, I want to sell a house a week. I didn't realize my goal was already to do 54 units. It's a house a week. And so as I'm sitting there thinking, how am I going to strategically put enough people on the pipeline to sell a house a week? And I said, I sell 2 houses right now, and that's 2 weeks. And then it literally occurred to me that if I had 2 weeks and 2 sales, I had 2 other weeks in that month that I said, all of a sudden I realized if I'm not selling a house a week, I'm doing this wrong. I hope that was an aha moment for some of you. I said to myself, what am I doing with my time on those other 2 weeks? Probably not the most dollar producing stuff, right? We get stuck in the busy work. We get stuck, the greatest thing about real estate is it's flexible. The worst thing about real estate is that it is flexible. Like you have to say, did I make any money today? Do you have appointments in your book? Expired leads are the most qualified free leads that exist. And you can get 85% return, meaning 85% of them will book an appointment with you if you follow my script. Now, if you focus on setting listing appointments, or if you want to call it conversations about listing someone's house, some agents are like, well, I want to have 15 conversations a week. Okay. That's great. You're putting people on the pipeline. I want you to book appointments to go see their house, even if they're not listing for 6 months. Why? Because you need business 6 months from now. You will cement the relationship. You will be walking through the house 82% of the time. The first person that goes in the house is the one they end up listing with. So give yourself, realize that someone who's 6 months out is a great lead. I work with seller clients for weeks or months before we put a sign in your yard. In fact, I had more value at the front end of the process. I can save you time. I can save you money, right? And I want to see your house because I'm out looking for a house for you. I see the things you love, the things you don't like, the room sizes, the colors. And most sellers will say to me, no one ever has done that. I've sold 7 houses. No one's ever told me they want to see my current house. That's unbelievable. It's brilliant. So focus on a listing appointment. Write it down right now. How many listing appointments? It's got to be more than 2. I'm talking to people I expect on this call. You wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't want to grow your business. The minimum should be 3 or 4, right? You should have at least 3 pre-listing appointments or actual listing appointments. See, you guys, everybody's going to turn into level A at some point. Follow the gold mine pipeline. C people turn into A people very quickly. B people turn into A people very quickly. But you have to focus on getting the appointment. If you don't get the appointment, there's not going to be anything, right? So I also want to tell you the last real pro tip here is if you are not setting yourself up for success by creating what I call time blocked activities that are the most productive use of your time is to book yourself appointments, you need to do that. Okay. There are 2 kinds of calls, everybody. Sales calls, generating new business, or servicing calls. We get stuck in the servicing calls cul-de-sac because it's comfortable. Why? Because, well, those people bought a house from you, so you over-service them because it's a lot easier to talk to them than it is to pick up the phone and make 10 to 20 calls, right? So I want you to call intentionally, put this on your schedule to time block. I'm going to call expireds. I'm going to research the expireds. Then I'm going to call them. How many times people tell me I have 45 expireds sitting here? I go, why haven't you called them yet? They're getting ready to get ready. And that does not work, people. We cannot judge ourselves on our good intentions. We have to judge ourselves on the results. Okay? Write this down on the right-hand side. I will until. That's it, my friends. I will until. Day's not over till I've booked enough appointments. Now, I just gave you an incredible script to go out and book appointments. Don't just do the first part and get the list of people. Once you get that list, like light it on fire yourself and say, I'm going to get appointments now. I just made the sales. This is a lot of potential missed opportunity for most agents because everybody says, oh, that's calling expired. The first lie we all tell ourselves, there are no expireds. Run the expireds this afternoon, please. Go back 2 years. Go back 2 years. I mean, I have brand new people, seasoned agents, everybody, top agents. Your success is contagious. It will create more success for you. I guarantee it. I've watched this happen. I've not only done it myself, I've coached thousands of people to do expireds. It will work, but you have to do it. Like you have to pick up the tools and put it into action. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I haven't looked at the chat in a while. I will say this in closing. We are happy to help you and have you invest in your success, change your life, create a business plan, create your gold mine pipeline. I mean, literally in that 15-minute, 20-minute call that we do, I have people that show up to that and they say, I don't have anything in my pipeline. I don't have anything solid. I don't have any business. And within 10 to 15 minutes, they have $15 million of potential business they didn't even know they had. Because what we do is literally change your thinking. Re-engineer the way you look at leads, the way you follow up with them. 50% off your first month of coaching. This offer says good till August 20th, which is not true because August 20th was yesterday. So we'll make an exception. It's good. I think it's supposed to be good through next week Wednesday. So use the code. It's first 50. Call us, have a strategy call with us if you want first. And then you can certainly sign up. If you want to look at the programs, Pro starts at $595 a month. Our premium, most popular plan starts at $995 a month. 50 off that is a huge deal. So start now. Our average agent makes another $150,000 of income from coaching with us. They actually can say, I had X number of deals because of your coaching, Sherri. And that I love. That's real. That's not, when I talk to people and they are at different coaching companies, how many sales did you have from that coaching? At least 8 or 10. And they're like, no. And then they say, I said, do you have any? 3? We get down to 3 sales. No. Do you have any? No. So our coaching actually is quantifiable. You will be able to say, this is how much I got on the ROI of my $12,000 investment. So to make another $80,000 to $150,000 to give us $12,000, I think that's a pretty good investment. So you get 50 off. There's the scanned code. You can look at that. I think we're putting that in the chat. I don't know. Liz, you want to drop those into the chat? That would be awesome. And then we have a program called Playbook, which is our access to the Sherri Johnson Academy. It's $49 a month. There's also a plan that is $99 a month that gives you one free included one group coaching. So we actually coach you on these strategies that you see on the screen in a group setting. It's $99 a month. I think here's the better slide for that. Playbook itself is $49. That gives you access to the Sherri Johnson Academy. If you're a team leader and you're like, I want the Academy co-branded, absolutely, we can do that for you. A lot of our teams and companies, we have companies of 7,000 people on the Academy. to, if you have a team of 40, you have a team of 20, you have a team of 5, we could do a custom co-branded academy. That's going to say your brand and company and team name in the Sherri Johnson Academy. It's awesome. It's a great retention tool. It's a great way to get more agent productivity from your team. It's also a great retention, if I didn't say that already, retention, recruiting, and agent productivity. The goldmine pipeline for a team is like, it's crazy. Double, triple. We took a team from 140 to 200 million. Like, boom, right? Their goldmine pipeline had $230 million on it. And suddenly now the team leader was like, we can do 200 million. Yeah, you can. You already have it. You already have it. So this is the secret sauce of like why this works. $99 a month for Playbook Plus. It's going to give you that additional, the plus is that you get a group coaching call once a month, and it's live coaching. So we're actually speak to you, cameras on, audio on, ask questions, interact. It's a lot of fun. So you can do that with that code. And then here's that 20-minute free strategy call, coaching call that you can use for whatever you want. Talk about expireds, talk about the expireds plan, talk about you've pulled the list. Maybe now you want some, one-on-one on expireds. Maybe the second half of the call, you want to talk about the goldmine pipeline. Okay. I am promising you that this call, it's 20 minutes, is going to change your life. I just told you that someone called. We had a call in less than 20 minutes. I think it was 15 minutes. We had $15 million in her pipeline of actual business. She just never looked at it that way. She was only focused on who wants to do something right now. And I don't have enough of those people. I know. Goldmine pipeline will build you consistent and predictable and scalable and saleable business. That's what it does. It takes this roller coaster ride out and creates this right here. Boom, boom. We take people from 40,000 a year in salary, and now they make 15 to 20 a month. Put that down, right? Can you do that? Absolutely. Book this call. We're happy to have it with you. You can book it for next week. I think it goes out a couple of weeks. You can book it for this week. Okay. But book the call. I'm excited. I want to help you. And I want to also tell you, here's the goldmine pipeline if you don't have it. This is going to give you an ebook on the pipeline system. It's super cool. It's going to change your life. It's probably the single best lead gen follow-up system I've ever seen. And it's not because I wrote it. It really is. People tell me they've been in lots of coaching programs and never seen anything like this. And to be honest with you, you haven't seen anything like this, because it's going to monetize the value of all your leads. And you're going to say, oh my gosh, I'm a $20 million agent. Sure. Yes, you are. Right. So you're going to have 2 to 3 times what you normally sell. And we're going to help you convert it into actual listings, sales, and most importantly, income. So there's that. Dawn Hinton made $100,000 from one open house following the Sherri Johnson 50 grand at your next open house strategy. She does it repetitively. It's like her thing. This agent went from 32 to 40 to 84 million in 11 months, going from 350 in income to $1 million. It's kind of a phenomenal story. And she's made $1 million ever since. Okay. So she just wanted to make 500. And we increased her average sale price from $1.5 million to 3 million, actually 3.5 million. So, and they didn't think they could ever get listings at 3.5 million. I know you're thinking the same thing, but it happens, and it will happen for you. I know it will. Please implement this stuff. You're amazing. I'm going to be here next week. We will get emails out to you. I know it's a rough month with school and everybody going back to school, and it's just been tough. I saw a couple of you booked your appointments. Hey, Mike, good to see you, man. If you are interested in partnering with me, again, I said that earlier, book that call. I'll tell you what that's about. You get about $25,000 worth of coaching for free. It's included. We'd love to share that, what that's all about and what that looks like. And then I will see you guys next week, next Thursday, for Catalyst Coaching, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If there's no questions, anybody have a question? Are you good? Hi, Grace.
I had a question that
What's that?
would say praise. You want praise?
Oh,
Amazing job.
I said questions.
Oh, I thought you said any questions, any praise? I don't know where I heard that.
Oh,
All
I
right.
said
Well,
Grace.
Oh, got it.
I
Okay.
saw Grace is
I'm like,
on here, and I just met her in California. So no, I wasn't saying praise. I was saying
oh,
grace, which is a
well, I'm giving you praise anyway because you're a friggin' rock star. And anybody who wants a serious, high-powered, energetic ball of fun as a coach and a partner, Sherri Johnson is the one. I can tell you that for sure. We shared a stage in New York. I was going to say New York City, but it wasn't New York City. But it was close to New York, and she's just an amazing person and has helped a lot of people. I missed the very beginning of this, Sherri. So I heard you referencing the script that you guys had just gone over, and I think I missed that whole thing.
that's
Is
okay.
there
It's on the replay, and the replay will be sent out this
okay?
afternoon. Tomorrow morning, you'll have a replay. Check your inbox, and again, the entire script will be there for you to listen and watch. Yeah, and actually, I start by saying, go 2 years out, 2 years back, and then follow my script literally. The first thing a seller is going to tell you is we decided to take the house off the market, and people usually hang up. And the first
Yeah,
objection that you have to have with them is to say, I understand. I'm sure it was very disappointing that it didn't sell. And then it's the magic comma. However, I come bearing great news. I can get the job done for you. I have a formula. I specialize in selling homes that didn't sell the first time. And I have a formula for why your house didn't sell. And by the way, where did you want to move? So the whole script will lead you right to adding so much value that people want to hear your formula. They want to see the new pricing for what's
yeah,
current, right? And it's really powerful. So it works. It's an 85% close rate on getting an appointment. And from there, your job, of course, is to go there and get them to list. Now, it's not a pushy thing. I don't think everybody's going to list on the day you meet with them, but it starts the conversation. And what will happen is I tell people, you may decide not to list. I'm not coming to list your house. I say that all the time. In fact, it's part of my norm in scripts. Like, I'm not coming to list your house. Yes, I am. I just may not do it that weekend, right? It's the first time I'm going to the house. Eventually, I'm going to list it, right? But I tell people literally, I'm not going to list your house. You're not ready. You haven't even seen my formula yet, right? Let me at least start by giving you good data and good information so that you can make a decision that's in your best financial interest. And my favorite line, which you may or may not have heard, was you had a sign in your yard, right? Mentally, you were ready to move. Don't make a decision based on the last conversation you had with your former agent. That was 8 months ago. That was 12 months ago. It's a mic drop. That one's a mic drop.
that's a mic drop. That's definitely a mic drop.
Definitely a mic drop. And it's one of my I don't know where it came from. I think the whole God, some spiritual thing gave it to me because that's where everything comes from. But I said to that seller, don't make it. And that was like, that became my line. So I think you're, at the very least, meet with me, have all the information in front of you. If it takes you another 3-4 weeks or a month or whenever, I'm not going anywhere. Get the information. Let's set up an appointment. What's better for you, Thursday at 5 or Saturday at 10? And you will get 85% yeses to that. And then your job is to go there, get a tour, and have a good conversation with them. I'm never pushing anybody, but my gosh, like, you had a sign in the yard. I can find you a house in a neighborhood that looks like it doesn't have any listings right now. Yeah, we do that all the time. So it's I think it's very proactive, value added, which is the basis of all that I do. And that's it. So watch the replay. Come back next week. Good to see you guys. I saw some of you come on, and we, it's like the middle of going back to school, and everyone said, should we have catalyst calls? And I said, yes, consistency. So I'm sure we'll have more people. If you have a team, invite your team members to this event. If you have friends in your office, you can certainly forward my email and invite them. Everyone's welcome. And I'll see you guys next week for more coaching. I apologize. I don't know what the topic is, but we will be meeting on something lead generation to help you get listings, to help you secure more appointments and compete at a higher level and win. So I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful listing and sales week. And remember, you have a listing. You just don't know the address yet. I had to end with that. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. Before you go, just one quick question. You mentioned about Mike, for inviting me in, and thank you for the gem that you dropped. That's mic drop for real. I'm a testament to that. I only call expired Facebooks and old expired. And by doing an old expired right now, I'm working with a seller. He doesn't want to get into the MLS. It's more like a pocket listing. It's a 3.5 million that I which is an old expired. So
Yes.
the question that I wanted to ask is, you mentioned about painting, like usually like they paint different colors. Do you suggest that your sellers paint every single time, or how do you go about that?
What was the word? I
You,
suggest.
you think did you suggest that the sellers, do they do renovation or do paint?
Oh,
renovation?
not every time. No, I think that I have to go see the house and I have to look at it online and I have to look at what are the decorating objections, if there are some.
Okay.
I think renovations is a key to one of the key, like when people say, Sherri, what's the formula? The formula is going to be a combination of things, right? It's yes, everyone always says your house is too high. That's not a good way to build people's like excitement to want to meet you. So I usually have them say, do you think my house is too high? And I say, to be honest, I need to see it first, and we need to have a conversation about your expectation of value. But there are many things in the formula, and one of the things in the formula is the condition and some of the decorating, I say issues, I don't say problems. I say decorating issues that may or may not be hindering, right? A house either backs up to a park or a parking lot, and one's going to add value and one doesn't, right? And I love the play on words on park and parking lot. When you look at decorating, and I say to a seller on the phone, like, part of what I do and the value I bring is to help you know what materials buyers want today. Like, and I use slate floors as a good example. I say, you might be thinking about pulling out the slate floor in that back hallway, and I'm going to tell you, leave the slate. Today's buyers love slate. You haven't sold a house in 8 years or 15 years or whatever it's been. Today's buyers love slate, and we're going to put that money to better use somewhere else for a faster sale in another area of your home, or better yet, just keep it in your pocket. Okay. Now that is talking about renovations without having a hard yes or a hard no. Like I tell people, usually they say, right, here's what they say. I don't want to do anything. And I say, you don't have to do anything, but everything is going to be, every objection ends up being a price objection. So if you don't want to do anything, I'm good with that. But we might have to look at selling at wholesale versus trying to sell at retail.
Makes sense.
We want to sell at retail. I can get you a lot more money if we have the ability to do a few things. And that list can be short or long, and we can talk about that when I come over. And that's, again, how you get that appointment, right? Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
How do you pronounce your first name?
It's Genscher.
Genscher?
Yeah.
Or Ganscher? Hopefully I said it right.
Genscher.
Yeah.
You got it right the first time. Genscher.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah.
LaFleur. I have a friend who, and the Fleur de Lis is my logo. I have a friend whose last name is LaFleur. She was a manager for me, Linda LaFleur. I love that you got that appointment. And listen, everybody, go to the highest number. Please. I have a friend in Vegas. That's all she does. High-end expires. Wendy Goff. That's all she does. High-end expires. And you know what? She's dropped the units and she makes more money. So you can be hyper crazy, specific, and intentional. At the beginning of the call, I said, write down, I want to have 10 listings in this price point in the next 6 months or whenever, right? You pick the time frame. So will I see you next week?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. And listen, I love the sign behind you, Mike. Stop talking and put in the work. What? I want that. I'm getting that. I need this. Where did you get those?
I think I got them on Amazon. Well, no, I got them on Instagram. They stalked me on Instagram until I bought them. And so I bought the big ones.
I love it. And those are going up. I can't even stand it. Stop talking and put in the work. All right. That said execute, which I also said action, please. Make the action list. Go pull the expireds. Please text me your success stories, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a really wonderful week. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.